There we go. We're live, right? There we go. Hey, how goes it? Ken Bozak here to talk about Bitcoin and
What's up?
Bitcoin accessories. I'm with my bro bros Ty and Lawrence from FOMOHunt.com. What are you guys up to over there? Where are you guys calling in from anyway? You guys always traveling and moving around?
Osaka, Japan.
You're in Japan?
Yeah,
For real, for
Yep.
real?
yeah. That's why it's like middle of the night, bro.
What? Damn, man. What are you doing in Japan?
We're over at DEF CON, like the big Ethereum
Oh,
summit.
okay. So are you there doing anything with FOMO Hunt directly, or are you just there, just looking, at the event as a whole as attendees?
Kind of both.
Oh, cool.
We're aggregating a lot of the events out here, creating some event guides, working with some of the companies out here, and also looking at like some development teams and meeting up with some of the companies out here, building some cool things.
So you mentioned like the event guides and stuff like that. And that's kind of like what FOMO Hunt does. Let you both have a chance to kind of explain to the audience who you are and what you are doing with FOMO Hunt, and maybe a little bit about what's going on in Japan right now, because I know a lot of people are interested in what Asia is doing in the industry right now. So,
Mm-hmm.
Ty, kick it off, man. What are you up to? Where you come from? Where do you go? Because I know Lawrence is pretty popular on the interwebs. We know Digital Lawrence.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man. Yeah, I mean, I'm making my rounds around crypto Twitter a little bit now. We've just been traveling around, through Singapore. We just got over here from Seoul, South Korea for Korea Blockchain Week. I'm head of business development at FOMO Hunt, so I'm just trying to help out with maybe like media partnerships. Working with some companies here and there. Helping their growth, and then of course helping grow the platform as a whole. Um, my background, I'm a YouTuber, I guess. Just been doing like YouTube and like I guess social media marketing for a while. And I started my YouTube channel for crypto back in like 2018, like May. And I got into crypto like October, November 2017. So I haven't been around for a very long time, but I'm trying to make an impact as quickly as possible. So that's kind of a little bit about me.
That's interesting. You say, come from like the YouTuber content creator space into a biz dev position, which a lot of people don't understand is that's, a lot of biz dev responsibility is being socially engaging and, in a way socially likable where you can communicate with people at their level. And I guess to kind of put you on the spot, Ty, what's the elevator pitch, right? When you go in and, you're doing the biz dev thing at these events all over, the world, what's the elevator pitch to kind of get somebody's interest peaked in FOMO Hunt?
So my elevator pitch would be pretty much be like, hey, we're the meetup.com of like blockchain and crypto events right now. And we want to scale that from not just the regular meetup.com, but kind of adding like blockchain rewards and take it to the next level.
Yeah, gamifying the participation in a lot of these events, because that's what a lot
Mm-hmm.
of it comes down to is the incentive, right, to participate and then to monetize on top of that, which really creates that ecosystem. So,
Exactly.
Lawrence, how's Asia and what they're like with Japan and Korea and all these places you're traveling? What's the
Yeah.
acceptance environment like? Is it still at high peak entrance like what we saw during like the bull run, or has this bear market kind of still deterred a lot of new money to say coming in?
All right, so I'll give you the quick rundown to the best of my memory and ability. Southeast Asia, meaning like Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, places like that. For the most part, Singapore is the headquarters of that, right? So
Okay.
most people use Singapore as their headquarters for their company on
So that's where
paper.
people are LLCing and establishing the corporations is in Singapore.
Exactly. Even companies from Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, most of them are using Singapore as their entity headquarters because of just the regulation. And it's super, I'm not a lawyer, but it's just more advantageous to have your entity located in Singapore for banking and regulation. And it's very easy to do comparatively. Um, so I'd say from a business point of view, Singapore is like pretty hot, especially, just all of Asia. and it's a very stable economy, you know, compared to a lot of these countries sometimes have a unrest and whatnot. Singapore is very stable, so people can, you know, feel comfortable parking their funds there, etc. Um, I would say that Hong Kong is pretty lit in terms of crypto, just because it's like where people say like the West meets the East. So it's a traditional banking financial hub. You know, it's kind of the Singapore before Singapore, because Singapore is relatively new. So Hong Kong's pretty lit. A lot of big funds there. A lot of big funds from mainland China are headquartered there, and a lot of companies trying to enter the Chinese market, they kind of meet in Hong Kong.
Are ICOs,
Um,
IEOs, and the rest of like the alphabet opportunities still pretty trending in Asia? I know like the U.S. is kind of fizzled out, but that's I think a very local issue due to like the regulations of the SEC, and their reach isn't very far outside of the borders of the U.S. So, is Asia still somewhat of an interest in that market of IEOs? Because I know like that's the newer investment opportunities for a lot of the blockchain companies coming
mhm.
up.
I think Korea is probably the number one spot for that.
Yeah.
For
So
IEOs,
Korea, yeah, for IEOs, ICOs, retail buyers, retail height. I mean, there's just Korea is pretty
Popping.
popping, yeah, to say to, you know, it's pretty happening. And there's a couple companies, couple US founders, pretty cool people that have like pretty prestigious backgrounds from the States, have companies in Korea with
I was
tokens
just going
on
to ask you if you have
Korea.
any that you could mention that are, somewhat mentionable or anything that kind of caught your attention as far as because a lot of people that are, interested in crypto in the US, their vision isn't spread out, right? Like blockchain isn't the same as the US stock market. This goes a lot
Yeah.
farther. So a lot of people don't have their vision on what Asia is doing, and I know that you kind of have your finger on that pulse. So like people that are kind of in the U.S., is there anything that they should be keeping their eyes on, like a Binance? For example, a lot of people in the U.S. wrote them off because they weren't in the U.S. Although we've seen how far Binance has come.
Hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, to be honest, it's such a disconnect. So like, you know, if I get to Korea or Japan or Hong Kong, people are like, oh, what do you do? And I introduce myself, and they're like, oh, so you're an influencer, and I'm like,
Mm.
I don't know, maybe. And then they're like, okay, I'm like, have you, you know, Twitter? And they're like, yeah, we don't really use Twitter. And I'm like, okay, so I literally have no clout here at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like an entirely separate ecosystem. You
Yeah.
know, it's like it's almost like there's no crossover. Like there's big projects in Korea that I've never heard of by
Right.
U.S. founders. Like
Yeah.
one guy was telling me about his project, and a lot of Koreans were like, "Yeah, it's awesome. They're doing awesome stuff." I mean, these guys are from like Boston, went to MIT, and I was like, "What's the name of the project?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I've literally never heard of that."
Yeah.
There's
So
a
there's
lot of
like kind
projects
of a
that are low
separate.
key, man.
Korea is
It's
very,
I think that's a lot to do
yeah,
with
that are
intention,
listed.
right? A lot of these companies that go outside of the U.S. to
Mm-hmm.
kind of, I would say, grow, right? To kind of kick off their startup is to do a very small in-house model, right? Where they have these angel investors who are not really dumping a lot of money into the market because they don't want a lot of people basically flexing their power as a shareholder of the crypto or whatever, right? Because that's what happens a lot of the times is these projects will go too far too fast, and there's a lot of disagreement
Yep.
with the developers versus the token holders and the angel investors versus the CEOs, and things just get
Yep.
cannibalized because of that. And I think Asia's their market has always been very small intentionally at the beginning because of that. Like if you look at even Binance, that was a very low key startup project until they like really wanted to go public.
Yeah, man. I mean, as a super proud U.S. citizen and I love America, it really feels like we're getting fucking beat up by Asia right now on crypto. I mean, if I had to launch a project or raise a bunch of money, like a lot of money or something, there's no way I'd do it in the States.
No. No way.
Not
I'd be,
after 2018. Before that, before these regulators got involved and everybody was kind of held to the fires that aren't even lit yet. This is regulations that might be imposed that are kind of deterring the investors in the U.S. Right, like. It's the government's potential to implement regulations and not grandfather in the people that have participated. There's really nothing on paper right now that should hold people back institutionally speaking from investing, but they are worried about potential implementations of regulations and then being held accountable for their actions. Like, a lot of companies were looking at even tokenized. We saw Kodak and Kick and everybody.
Hmm.
These mainstream companies really started
Yeah.
experimenting with this technology, and then the SEC came in, and we saw what happened with Kick. They're still trying to work out the legalities of their token.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, it's a shame because people were just experimenting, and like
Exactly.
seeing, this a new possible paradigm shift of technology or a new way to look at assets or a new way to invest in things. And a lot of people say, oh, well, fuck the shit coins, right? That's what people say. And, only Bitcoin, which I can sympathize with, but also like Bitcoiners aren't going to be too happy, and I'll count myself included if the U.S. government also says, "All right, it's illegal to own Bitcoin as well,
Right.
and you can't convert into fiat." So it's like really easy to kind of just say, "Well, fuck anybody that's raising money for a token project." But the U.S. government's pretty strong and powerful, and if they say, "Hey, no more Bitcoin to fiat," that's gonna fucking crush a lot of things for the industry. So
Yep.
I think it's better if the U.S. has a clear regulation, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime soon. So sadly, I think like there's going to be a big brain drain out of America into Asia.
Well, we're
Yep.
seeing the brain drain already, and it's even financially starting to happen. Like you said, a lot of these companies are LLCing in other countries, and
Oh yeah.
it's kind of
Singapore.
incentivizing investors' funds to leave the country. We're not investing back into American companies anymore. We're investing into Americans,
Hmm.
but the Americans open their company in another country, so it's no longer an American company. So the money is leaving with the brains. It's an all
Hmm.
in outgoing expense from the U.S. and I think a lot of third world countries are in kind of embracing this as an opportunity to get out of that third world trademark or staple, right? And hey, thanks a lot for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Much appreciated, John Red. Uh, so,
Hey.
I guess let's talk a little bit about the FOMO Hunt roadmap and the gamification of the participation in these events, because there's like meetups and things like that, but it's really hard to engage with the people that do join the meetups and things like that, and it's really hard
Hmm.
as a startup meetup or a startup event to really kind of reach the appeal. Like if you're on meetups.com and you're doing a Bitcoin event, it's not speaking to the people of that interest. But if you're hosting a cryptocurrency meetup or a cryptocurrency conference and you're using something like FOMO Hunt, or even things like Steam It, you're speaking directly to your audience, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, right now, short term, our the name of the game is just get exposure and gain trust with the community, right? So make something that's super easy for people to use, aggregate events, and just provide a very useful tool for the community, the people that like going to crypto events. We're going to get a little more ambitious next year, with like our roadmap, things cost money and raising funds and things, but we're going to do some pretty cool things, some kind of cutting edge things in terms of our mobile app, in terms of location based chats, in terms of location based blockchain rewards, which not a lot of people have ever tried that. So we have a very ambitious roadmap. It's just right now we're kind of one step at a time. I'm a bit impatient at times, but we're just plugging along, and I think we're also following the market cycle, right? We can only really grow as big as the market grows. Right now,
Right.
it's kind of a chill market, but something crazy, some catalyst happens again mid next summer, even 2021. Like we're hoping we're going to be in a good position to ride that wave.
Yeah, if you zoom out, we're still in a pretty linear movement. We're still going pretty sideways. We haven't seen any big action jumps in the past couple of months either way, and it's been great, I think, for the
Mm-hmm.
the industry to kind of have a moment to breathe and plan and prepare for either direction, right? Either parabolic ups or
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
downs. This moment right now that we've had from I would say like the 12 to 10K down to 8 range, it's price wise speaking, it's actually a good time to grow. I think in terms of technologically, maybe not so much
Mm-hmm.
financially,
Yeah, I would
but
agree.
we've seen a lot of projects be able to double down on the tech because they can't just keep talking about the hype of their volatility, right? Like the volatility overtook the actual attention of the tech. A lot of investors are looking at the underlying, not so much the bottom line, which is the volatility. they're seeing that the tech begets the price instead of the price begetting the tech, right?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
Bitcoin's price doesn't affect its quality of technology. You know, Bitcoin could go down to $1. Shit's still gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people, I mean, honestly, man, myself included, people are fucking burnt out right now on crypto. I mean, I don't know if everybody is, but you know, I go to so many of these events. I see so many of the same people, that the heads of like a lot of the big projects, a lot of the big funds, just even like influencers and stuff. And man, like we've been in a pretty brutal fucking market since what, March 2018.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
been
it's
a
kind
long
of a lot of,
run.
yeah. I mean, a lot of these projects are running out of funds. A lot of people are just
Well, that's
burnt. A lot of
because they
this,
didn't hedge in the fiat, which is respectable and
Right.
also kind of detrimental to a company. I guess, like, morally speaking, I guess it's great that a company didn't sell their own tokens to secure their costs. But again, it's also the responsibility of a business to make sure financially they're stable. So, I mean, you know, it's a double-edged sword. A lot of these projects were riding during the bull run that
yep.
if they were to sell the top to, you know, kind of have some financial stability to grow the project in case of a bear market, there were sellouts, right? They were dumping on their investors, and
Mhm.
either way, they were going to lose the,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
the points with their investors or even their users of the platforms. You know, they're going to feel some type of way emotionally, like, oh, you sold at the top, but that's what businesses should have done during the bull run, and pretty much none of them did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And the few that did, I feel like they're getting
They exited.
chased down
They're
by
the
the
ones.
SEC
Yeah,
right
they're the
now.
ones that all
Yeah.
exited. Yeah, exactly. They went right to fiat. You know, it would have been smarter to go crypto to crypto and kind of, you know, hedge if your ICO ERC 20 into Ethereum or Bitcoin and not fiat out or even a stable coin. But a lot of these companies sold out for fiat, and we're seeing the SEC chasing them down. I'm interested to see what actually happens with Kodak in the long term, because that was one of the first institutional legacy companies that went tokenized and basically, in my opinion, scammed everybody with their mining software leasing and their mining hardware leasing scam. Like, they basically were gonna rent you a miner and charge you to use it. How the fuck is that even potentially profitable?
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
man.
So I'm waiting to see what happens to these institutional companies, the legacy guys who did scam, and I want to see like the groundwork, that the blueprints that other companies will have to follow.
Hmm. Yeah, man. I'm kind of ready for a catalyst to come in and shake things up pretty soon. Whether that means Bitcoin just pumps to 20,000, or Apple announce, you know, the iPhone 12 has fucking, you know, Apple Coin built in, or you know, I'm ready for something
Well,
new to come
Samsung
shake
has
things up.
their new Samsung phone has a Bitcoin wallet built in by default. I think Engine helped them build that.
He did. Yeah.
That's really
And
cool.
that's
And
the thing.
Huawei and what's the other one? HTC's Exodus. They all have built-in
Yep.
blockchain wallets now. And the browsers, even browsers like Brave, I think even is doing it. Opera and BitTube has their own
Yeah.
browser now.
Brave
So
has their crypto wallet.
there's a lot of these things that are just starting to become more by default, you know, utilizing crypto for that case. Like, you know, it just makes sense for my browser to have a wallet because I'm using the browser to shop online anyway, and Overstock accepts
Hmm.
Bitcoin. So I have my PayPal plugin, my Bitcoin plugin, and I can shop online. But
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And Samsung's like, I think the biggest Korean company, if not one of like the top five
It's probably
biggest.
like the biggest. Yeah.
And yeah, that's just like shows like Korea's like pretty into it, man.
and they're
Like
not just phones.
Samsung.
People kind of lose sight on Samsung. Samsung is not just phones or TVs.
Right.
Samsung has military contracts. These motherfuckers make tanks, like
Yeah.
straight
I didn't
up.
know that.
Yeah,
I did
bro.
not know
They
that.
Samsung makes
And they
everything.
make all the flash memory for iPhones, you know. They
Yeah, they're a partner for Apple. That's
yeah.
why they're see. All right, so Laura, I think this. So you know this. I used to fix phones for like 10 years, and during that lawsuit,
Hmm.
I knew what was happening. All right, so legally, Apple can't just say, "Here, Samsung, here's a bunch of money. Don't make chips for Huawei or HTC." They can't do that. But what Apple can do is, hey, we're going to
Right.
use your icon that you have a trademark on, and Samsung had the trademark on this, or Apple had the trademark on the phone call icon, the green phone. That was trademarked. That little
Yeah.
icon with the green phone, they owned that.
Oh shit.
Samsung used the same logo for the dialer. Apple sued them and they end up having to pay or whatever. So like this is just one way of like, getting backdoor deals more legitimate, right, on the books. Like how do you move millions of dollars legally without paperwork? Well, we're going to do something that and you're going to sue us for, and this is the deal we're going to make on the back end. And that's exactly what happened with those chips.
Damn.
Damn.
Such
That's
a scam.
wild, man.
I did not
Such
know
a
that,
scam, dude. I used to be real involved in the cell phone repair industry, and I used to buy
Yeah.
a lot of these chips offline to fix Apple devices, like
Yeah.
there's the charger circuits for it and stuff, and image and things, and they're little. There's these tiny little 5-cent chips, and I could fix your phone, or you could buy a new one for
So you went
$1,000
down to
bucks.
the motherboards of the actual board. I didn't go down that far. I repaired phones, so I didn't go down that far.
I went to Florida for a week and a half for training for micro soldering, and it was like the craziest experience, man, because I broke so much stuff before I actually could fix things.
Yeah.
It was like a break more than you build progress state. Like I think I broke probably $1,000 worth of iPhone motherboards just trying to learn how to fix one, but then I got it. Like it's just the same thing, I guess, in surgery, right? You kind of have to have a couple cadavers you can work on.
Drop your phone. Yeah, drop your phone off to Bozak and he'll break it even more.
Now I can fix them. The funny thing is I actually just sent Siren Labs an email. My LCD, my backlight on my Finny phone stopped lighting up. And I can't find the backlight anywhere online. I guess it's because it's a very limited issued device, and they have some very preparatory type tech in there because there's no fuses for the backlight anywhere to be found. Siren Labs is hooking me up with their support to send me out the piece so I can fix my phone myself.
Nice.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I love that Finny phone. It has a
Nice.
built-in hardware
Where you
wallet.
at these?
What?
What?
Yeah, it's around here somewhere. It's a built-in hardware wallet in my phone. So like, this isn't the phone. This is my Samsung. But I slide up, and there's a hardware wallet in the phone that's attached to it.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, Siren Labs made 2 blockchain phones. One is 1,000, and the other's $20,000. Yeah.
Does it have fucking 3 Bitcoins on it?
Yeah.
Like if you put them on there, I guess. I mean, the perk of the $20,000 phone is it has real gold, and it comes with a. So my phone's the $1,000 one. It stopped working, but if I had the $20,000 phone, they would send out a technician within 72 hours anywhere in the world to fix it here on the spot.
Oh my god.
Damn.
So that's pretty gangster. I mean, if you're like a
That
broker
is
or a
pretty
hedge,
gangster.
if you're using that phone to manage hedge, or you're a broker, or you're doing something with money, that's a very, very important feature to have if your device
It's
is
true.
your means. So that is pretty cool that they're doing that. And I think, for them, just Siren Labs just starting out, I mean, this is only an opportunity for Apple and Samsung to sort of springboard that off of, to see that these tools, these phones aren't just for our nudes, it's for our Bitcoin now. And that means there's a lot more that people are going to want when you're dealing with Fortune 500 company owners. They're, if Barack Obama's BlackBerry stops working, it's not the end of the world. But if he has smart contracts that he has to sign off on with his private keys and a 2FA of a genetic precursor like your fingerprint or your retina, he needs that phone fixed.
Yeah.
That's true, bro.
Very, very
That's true.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about FOMO Hunt and what you're up to with, like, again, a little bit more of that roadmap. Like, how do you guys plan on gamifying the participation, right? Like, are you going to create your own token, or are you going to use other tokens? Or I'm just curious, how are you going to involve cryptocurrency anywhere in the platform on the front end?
Yeah. So basically, what we plan on doing is the idea is to incorporate like the Lightning Network with Bitcoin. That's the biggest thing. So everybody loves Bitcoin, of course. Everybody loves the Lightning Network. And with our events and meetups, if you were to, of course, host an event on FOMOHunt.com to get like traffic to your event. We want to help with the attendance. So you could have like, and you could go for a service on FOMOHunt.com where there's a certain amount of Bitcoin allocated to giving that out to the attendees once they show up.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, imagine you know, a lot of these events that are around I don't know, like Korea Blockchain Week,
Well,
you
even
know, or DevCon
Consensus.
or whatever.
Were you at Consensus?
Yeah,
Ty?
even Consensus. I didn't go there.
Oh,
but
well,
I
Lawrence would know. We got a wallet from the conference Consensus with a bunch of tokens in it to kind of get us all involved with the different projects.
Right. Exactly. So like, you know, let's say that your meetup is going on at the same time as somebody else's, but you obviously want to generate traffic to your meetup, get more attendance. All right. Well, if you're offering a Bitcoin allocation, you know, just for showing up, and you go through FOMOHunt.com, and of course, you know, you go through that process, then you get that Bitcoin once you arrive. Well, that's going to give somebody the incentive to go to your meetup over somebody else's, and that's going to drive attendance, which is a big thing for like events and meetups.
Yo, you know, this is the same model they use for timeshare meetups. It's like straight up.
Hey.
I've been to a few. I've sat
What
through
do you mean?
timeshare. I sat because people will do. I've gotten this where they'll say, "Oh, we'll give you $100."
What are you doing? Timeshares, Bozak?
I've been no because all right. So hear me out. I've done this. I did this in 2018.
Bro,
I went to
oh my God,
timeshare.
dude.
No, I did because they would give me $100 for sitting through the timeshare spiel. And at the end of the timeshare spiel, you're sort of incentivized to get a timeshare, or here's the $100, right? Well, I just took the $100, but I talked to everybody about Bitcoin, and I was like, hey, use your $100 that you just got to buy Bitcoin, because that's what I'm about to do. So like, I incepted these but
Oh, no.
dude, you wouldn't imagine how many people
So
showed.
you're banned from the timeshare meetups
Yeah,
at this point.
yeah, I got kicked out for gamifying it because they knew what I was
There's
up
that
to.
Bitcoin kid coming in just getting the free $100. No, sir, not again.
But that does work though. That gamification of participation and incentivization really works. It's just it's game theory. It's human nature. And I do this with my meetups with Monarch. Monarch, shout out to monarchtoken.io, bro, because they give me some Satoshis that I can incentivize the participants to show up to my meetup, right? Like I'll open up a Monarch wallet. Here's a couple Satoshis, and we can show you how to move it around and stuff like that. And I mean, it's just, it would be a lot more powerful if that was part of, like, you know, the whole structure of the meetups thing. So with FOMO Hunt being able to do that, even if you only were to offer your own token as an airdrop, it's still a way to get more people incentivized. And that's the Trojan horse education theory right there, right? We're going to pay you to come learn. And people think like me, you know, being greedy, but there's always something you can take away from it. Like me with the timeshare thing, I actually learned a lot about flipping properties. So that was like the sub takeaway of that was like Airbnb, what they're doing with time sharing Airbnb type stuff is revolutionary, bro. Like they've centralized the tokenization. Like for Lawrence, you want to tokenize a property, and with 10 people we can time share it out as our own Airbnb. We could be our own hotel. These are the things that people are doing, man, and it's really cool.
I'm in.
Yeah, all right, guys, you heard it here first.
Bed and breakfast.
Bozak bread. Oh man, wake and bake Airbnb. I like it. You get a joint on every pillow instead of a mint.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, just baked at Bozak's. That's the fucking movie.
I like it already, man. All the food has edible like stuff in it.
Me too. Fucking. It sounds like one of those movies Seth Rogen would make. It's like baked at Bozak's, and it's just like you wake up and you're in like an Airbnb, and the guest walks in, and you realize he drugged you with a bunch of gummies.
Yo, have you guys saw hot ones with the chicken wings where they eat the hot sauce?
Yeah. I see that all the time.
Is that the podcast?
No, it's like the video series on YouTube.
Yeah, they do a video where it's basically a podcast, yeah. Where they eat hot wings. I want to do that with weed, where we smoke a joint and every joint just has more and more THC in it. Call it the high ones.
All right, Bozak, I have an idea. Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
I got an idea for you if you want to do it. You don't have to though.
Let's see what
it's in the same realm. So you know how they have Drunk History? You seen the show Drunk History?
I adore Drunk History. It's how I get most of my historical information.
Good. I got one for you. High conspiracies. You
Yes.
and a guest.
Oh man.
Ready? You and a guest get really fucking high, and your guest has to tell you his best conspiracy,
Oh
Yeah.
and then
fuck!
people act it out,
I love this idea.
just like drunk history.
Dude, all right, I already want John McAfee
I've
as
had-
my first guest. He's
Oh,
got the
man.
he's
Could
got
you
the best
imagine?
conspiracies, man.
Dude, oh man, you just need to find someone to bankroll this. Get you like 4 episodes.
If I got a sponsor, I could get Monarch to help me with that. If they sponsor my podcast, I'm sure I could help allocate those funds to that, because that would be just pure genius. High
Yeah, man, you get
conspiracies,
super high, you
bro. This genius.
and then you just get McAfee to tell his best story, and then you got a fucking full HD camera, McAfee high as a kite, and then you got the actors, just like drunk history.
I could use crypto content creators from like YouTube and Twitter to help act it out. Yo, did you see the Satoshi versus Hamilton rap battle on YouTube?
Yeah, that was sick.
I
Dude,
didn't
it
watch
was
it.
You didn't
fucking
see it?
epic.
I know what it's talking about, but I never watched
Dude,
it.
it was really good. And the
It was really good.
information was like, dude, they had a lot of
Yeah.
info. I was just really impressed. And then Charlie Lee has a cameo.
Yeah. So does like Adam Back and like
Yeah, there's
other
a
people.
Adam back. Yeah, there's a lot of like Bitcoin and crypto. I would say forefathers, early adopters that
Yeah.
were Easter egged in there, and it was just a really good video, Lawrence. You have to check it out. Hamilton versus Satoshi rap battle, so good. And this is, is just I've been watching so many different shows on Netflix and Hulu and stuff recently, just to kind of get out of the crypto like bubble. I'm trying to like
Bubble.
Right, like bubble of info. Like I'm surrounded by all this crypto info, and I've been trying to like get out of it. And I've been seeing that a lot of the places I'm going to get out have also got in, like Lodge 49. It's a really cool Illuminati type, TV show. But they mentioned basically the Illuminati created Bitcoin in the show. They're like the Illuminati created Bitcoin,
Oh, man.
and the leader of the Illuminati is Satoshi Nakamoto in the show. And I'm just like, I watched 3 seasons of this show, and at no point have they ever mentioned crypto. And like, one point in season 3, they just dropped a little, "Oh, we created Bitcoin." I'm just like, what? This is an amazing little. Mainstream is starting to get more and more
It's starting
involved.
to merge, man. I know
Yeah. We're starting to see. I think.
I know what you mean.
Like I walk into corner stores like 7-Eleven, and I see Bitcoin ATMs. Like they're there. It's getting more and more prominent. Is it like that over in Asia?
Totally
Are you
agree,
seeing
man.
more
It's,
like Bitcoin accepted here signs, or is there anywhere that you guys could go out and spend Bitcoin today to kind of like engage with the economic environment, or is it just like
it's so hit or miss, but it's out here. I mean, it's like it would be random. Like you'll be like in Bali and you'll walk by like a coffee shop, have like a giant Bitcoin emblem, or like in Korea there'll be like a restaurant. So I mean, I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say adoption is pretty even across the board with all nations for the most part.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think
I don't
like,
even
it-
see
like,
PayPal at most pizza shops still, and it's been around for like 20 years or something. So it's still like these adoption curves are still taking place
Yeah.
even on the legacy side. Like in New York City during Consensus, I was making fun of a lot of maximalists because they were talking shit like no one accepts Bitcoin. And we went to go get something to eat, and I was like, asked them if they accept PayPal. No, they don't. That doesn't mean PayPal's failing. And just because they don't
Right,
accept Bitcoin
right.
right now at Walmart doesn't mean Bitcoin's failing.
Well, but PayPal is like not even like a thing in Asia, like at all. Like nobody.
Yeah,
uses
Yeah, it's
PayPal.
WeChat, right? Isn't
So-
WeChat like the most used over
WeChat,
banking?
WeChat Pay.
Yeah, WeChat Pay has more users, active users than the banking system in Asia. I heard, right? That's one of the
Yeah, I mean, you
Cointelegraph
can't even-
articles I looked at said something like that. That they're really big on using like these chat message based, financial.
You can't
tools.
even use your credit or debit card in China, like at all.
Greg in the chat said, "Get the ancient aliens guy, the aliens dude for the
Oh,
high
yes,
conspiracies."
Dude,
Yes.
hey, you know that guy needs a job right now. I think they stopped the season.
No.
Yeah.
You know what just happened, right? The U.S. Navy just said every UFO video that's basically been put out there just got the thumbs up as being 100% authentic and real. The government and the military just said all of these videos are real. So this dude's probably about to get
Space
another
Force.
another season.
Yeah.
Oh man, you know what? Once the aliens actually do announce themselves, we should just make that guy president. He deserves it. You know, like once the fucking aliens finally land, I'll I'll fucking completely back that guy for president, like 2028 or whenever the next big election is.
Right.
You know, why not? I'm ready for it. Or at
Right.
least president of fucking Mars.
I mean, hey.
Right. No, definitely, dude. That makes so much sense. He's earned it. Nobody else has earned it as much as that
Dude,
fucking
at this point, I mean, he's been out on a limb for 2 decades.
Yo, could
I
you
mean,
imagine if we had him in Bitcoin? Like, if we had this dude in Bitcoin, we need him.
bro? If you don't think that guy's not Satoshi, bro.
Dave said, Ken, have you tried the dryer sheet deodorizer yet? Actually, I didn't have to. I got this thing for my door now that keeps like the smell from traveling out. Dude, my neighbors went nuts on me smoking. They just were like, they went absolutely insane. My neighbors. So a lot
Really?
of, yeah,
Wow.
a lot of my followers are kind of aware of that, but nothing has escalated since then. They said they were gonna call the cops because they smelled weed, and I was like, well, you probably should call the cops if you smell weed because it's illegal. And then I just shut my door.
Yeah, I don't know who'd be smoking weed in here. You know?
Right. I was like, I
Matter
don't
of fact-
smell anything, but if you do, you might want to, if you see something, say something.
Right.
Yeah, matter of fact, I might call them right now. Thanks for alerting me. You
I
know,
gotta go flush some stuff real quick. Dude, so like no, personally though, like what are you guys up to outside of FOMO Hunt, man? Like I know that you're basically like all in as the co-founders and really like immersing yourselves in the project, but like is there anything you're doing to tap out of this, man? Looks like you like just went surfing the other day. You guys like, hitting up the golf course or how are you unwinding, bro? Because it's so stressful just being an investor. I can't imagine being the co-founder of a project right now. So like Ty, Lawrence, how do you guys tap out and relax, man? Because it's definitely something that is essential to being in this space. Is kind of getting out of it for a little bit, right?
man, dude, I was counting on my hand last night, 9 countries in the past 60 days. And I'm fucking tired, man.
See,
I was
that's
like,
not
I pretty much
healthy,
had like
bro.
a fucking I did like a 2-hour mini meltdown just walking down the street. I was like, dude, what the fuck you doing, man? Like, what the fuck you doing, dude? You all right? Like looking in the mirror. But yeah, dude, I think what I'm gonna do. I'm just get back into fitness. It's always a good way to like kind of recenter yourself. And then I think I'm gonna do what I did last year when I was burnt out, last December, is I'm gonna go completely off the grid for December on social.
Oh, okay. Take like a detox month of social. That's a good
Detox
idea.
December. I think Gary Vee actually just said, yeah, dude, I want to get back into fitness. I want to get back into like just eating healthy, like just take care of, it's a marathon, this whole fucking life thing and business and everything. So I've been going pretty hard for the past fucking 3 years, but, I'm ready to kind of just like get off the grid and like go to like a mountain in Thailand or fucking go to the beach for a month or something, just chill.
Yeah, dude. It's
Yeah,
definitely
and
important
then,
to tap out and get like some scenery.
Yeah, dude, and I want
Yeah.
to just get back into like watching movies and stuff. Like I can't tell you the last time I just like binge watched Netflix or I just want to chill out for a bit.
I highly
at
recommend
the end of
Lodge
this year.
49 if you want to binge watch anything, and then you'll get that.
49?
Lodge 49, dude. It's so fucking good. It's so dumb. Have you ever seen Last Man on Earth? It's kind of like that kind of comedy, but it's so good too. And there's a
Yeah.
new
All
show.
right, all
There's a
right.
new show on YouTube that's sort of like Black Mirror.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. I think it's called Retro City or something like that. But it's really good, and the episodes are. It's one of those shows that's like breaking the barrier of what content is in a mainstream way. But that's like the stuff I'm into. I'm into like things that mainstream really don't get until then. Like 2 years later, it's trending, and now it's popular. I'm
Right.
usually
Makes
ahead of
sense.
the entertainment curve, dude. Like Black Mirror was something I was into like 10 years ago, and now all of a sudden it's on Netflix. And then Black Mirror used to be really controversial politically, and now it kind of sold out because Netflix bought it. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the earlier
Oh
seasons.
shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the first two seasons of Black Mirror were like really controversial and like really hard to get in the U.S. Like it was a really hard to obtain Black Mirror season one in the U.S. for a few years, and then Netflix kind
Really?
of bought it up. Yeah, yeah. Well, dude, the
Huh.
first episode they have a
No, I didn't
fucking
know that.
scene where the guy's fucking a pig. You know, like it gets insane.
Oh shit, I remember that one.
Everybody forgets that one and on
Uh,
purpose.
no, I remember that one, bro. That's hard to forget.
It is, and that's why it was like really hard, like the kind of get a conversation going with people about it because they're like, "Yeah, I saw the first episode and I never watched another one." I'm like, "Well, then skip that one, and every episode's a different episode." All
Right,
right.
exactly. It's not like a series of like the dude like fucking a pig,
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
like imagine.
I'm waiting. I'm
Oh
waiting
man.
for a cryptocurrency Black Mirror episode. They sort of had one where the guy was riding the bicycle and the girl became like a porn star and stuff, but that didn't really mention currencies as much as they mentioned credits
Yeah,
and
like
stuff.
the token, like you had like these little. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. They didn't dive into the money aspect as much as they dived into the social content creator aspect, right? Like
Right.
it was a really interesting for coming, especially coming from like a content creator and myself. Like watching that episode, it's definitely it does feel like that's exactly what happens to us. It's insane, man. The more you go against the grain, the more you're actually selling out, which is buying in. It's weird. Like, look at Alex. What's his name? Alex Jones, right? Like that dude went so far against the
Yeah, Alex
grain. He's
Jones. Yeah.
mainstream, right? Like, he's basically the equivalent of the guy holding a blade to his knife on the podcast. We're just waiting to see if Alex Jones
Yeah,
just offs himself on air one day. Who
Right.
are you guys following as far as your content and stuff comes? Like when you guys are looking to consume content or keep up with information in this space, are you guys just crypto twittering and just keeping up on those tweets, or do you actually go to like CoinDesk or Cointelegraph? Do you go to any of these individual content creators like Omar Bam or Box Mining? Any of these guys?
yeah. To be completely honest, dude, I haven't really been consuming anybody's content for like a few months now. Like I've just been like fucking doing my own thing. So
I
that's
mean,
just me though. I'm kind of weird like that. I get in these stages where I don't read anything or
Well,
watch
you're at a
anything
lot of
anymore.
events, so I mean, you really, I guess, don't need to go online to get a lot of information, especially when you're at what you said, like how many events in the past 90 days? Come on, like why even read an article when you're there while the articles are being written?
yeah,
Yeah, true, true. I mean, I like a lot of the people in the space and stuff. I haven't really been following anybody recently. No one new at least. I mean, I'll check Twitter here and there, but not really watching any videos or anything. Yeah, I guess I've just been out at these events in person, so I haven't felt like a big need to catch up online.
All right, well, Ty, for an
yeah, and then
example, I guess like to digress a little bit because I know we're running up here on time. I just wanted to see like, for example, with FOMOHunt.com and events like World CryptoCon, right? Blockchain Week, we're all going to be out in Vegas, and by everybody will be
Yep.
in Blockchain Week. I mean, come to Vegas if you can't afford a ticket to the event. Don't get a ticket. Just hang out outside, hang out in the lobby, smoke a joint with me out front of the conference. But definitely get your ass to
right.
Vegas, guys, because everybody's going to be in Vegas. But so how will as a user of FOMO Hunt kind of engage with the platform and see how these conferences are using the platforms, right? So what's that experience like for somebody? What could they expect?
Yeah, so the best thing that we can offer right now for like blockchain weeks like these is our event guide. So our event guide allows everyone to see like all the events that are going on for the entire week. So a lot of times there's like spreadsheets floating around, but we actually have like interactive event guides on our website that you can actually, you can obviously see the address, go straight to that, go to the actual like meetup or event eventbrite.com links through that. Obviously, if they post on FOMO Hunt, it'll be on FOMO Hunt. You can RSVP there. So our event guides are probably the most useful for like event weeks like these. So that's what I would say is the most helpful. And just to kind of like divert the conversation just a little bit, we're actually going to be doing a FOMO Hunt event in Vegas, and we're dropping it here on this podcast. We dropped it a little bit earlier on Lawrence's Twitter, but you are hearing it now as well. So it's gonna be pretty fucking massive. One of our clients, DAG Constellation, they're gonna be with us there as well. They're doing some awesome work in the space. I'm sure you heard about their like U.S. Air Force partnership and all that jazz. So they're doing some awesome things. They're gonna be with us, and yeah, man, it's gonna be fucking lit.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
So what exactly is gonna happen? What's this partnership gonna look like? What's going on? Can't tell me until Vegas? I saw Lawrence no.
No, yeah. So Constellation, they've already got the partnership with U.S. Air Force. They've also got a partnership with StackPath. So those are partnerships that have already happened. They've got some more coming up. So if you're looking for like a token that's like on the up and coming right now, definitely look at DAG. They're definitely doing a lot of work right now.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing some cool shit in Vegas, and we're gonna have all the homies and you and some other big people from Twitter and some companies out there joining us. We're just having a bonanza. It's gonna be nuts.
So guys, if you're looking for what's happening, even outside of ticket-based events, a lot of meetups, a lot of after parties, a lot of things will be popping up on FOMOHunt.com outside of a blockchain week, which I'm pretty sure Evolve is the corporation. Evolve is who's organizing Blockchain Week, which is like World CryptoCon and Litecoin Summit and all these things. So a lot of these things will require a ticket, but you also find a lot of things on FOMO Hunt that are for free. And I know Erin does a lot out in Vegas with her meetups, and she uses FOMO Hunt and stuff. So like, if you guys are looking for an after party or something to do, I'm sure keep your eyes on FOMO Hunt, because it's going to be a lot easier to keep track of what's happening. That's for sure, because it's going to be a crazy long week.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh, Exciting World Cryptos is in the chat. Vegas is going to be fun for sure. Dude, Exciting World Crypto, you're going to be there? Now I'm excited. I saw this dude at a few events, man. I love this guy. All right, so I guess to wrap things up, anything that we should talk about FOMO Hunt that we haven't gotten to, or anything that you guys wanted to mention before we get off the air?
Man, not much, dude. You covered us a lot, and it was just good to see you and chat with you.
Much appreciate it.
Good to see you in Vegas.
Yeah, man. Can't wait to meet you in Vegas as well, bro.
Oh, y'all never met?
No, I've never met him.
He doesn't get out much.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm just over here in Asia,
We talk on Twitter a lot, though. So, I mean, it's not like we're unfamiliar, man. So, it's just going to be like hanging out with a bro, more so than just meeting you for the first time. It's just going to be like hanging out, really. Because that's like a lot of what these events feel like, right? It doesn't really feel like you're meeting somebody because you've already met them online for like a year, right?
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like, I know you.
It's like the fifth dimension.
It is, dude. It's like, fuck a fourth wall. We're entering fifth dimensional barrier breaks when we go to these events, because it's like...
I broke through the other night, man.
Oh, Mr. Trick, see you in Vegas. Absolutely, man. Much appreciated you guys stopping in the chat. Thank you so much for the super chats, guys. I really appreciate the support. I'm probably going to be working with somebody. I'm talking to Coinbound and Voyager and a couple people. We're trying to put together a little thing, so keep an eye on FOMOHunt.com for that event, because, it's good. If you're in Vegas for the week, it's just going to be one of the ways that kind of really... I mean, your time is your most valuable asset, right? So when you go to a lot of these conferences and a lot of these events, people misallocate their asset, their time, right? And they don't come out with a good ROI of attending an event because they didn't really have a scheduled plan. They just wing it. And that's where a lot of the opportunities are missed as far as an attendee, an investor, or a CEO looking for investors. So just, get yourself a scheduled plan of what you're going to do and execute it when you attend these events. And tools like FOMO Hunt make that possible. So I appreciate you guys. Much love,
Dude,
guys.
thank you.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Ken.
Hey, Mr. Trick said, check out Seed Cards, sir. No, will do, actually. I think Nick from Divi Project just reached out to Seed Cards. Seed Cards are pretty cool, man. I know about Seed Cards. All right, guys, much appreciate you, Ty, Lawrence, FOMO Hunt. Everybody have a day. And leave some comments in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think of applications and platforms like FOMO Hunt. And give me your outside the obvious use case, right? Like outside the very obvious utility of a platform like this, how do you see the gamification of a tokenized environment utilizing blockchain technologies? All right, we're out. Have a day.